like anime opening style like cutscene, which has music that gets me copyright claimed on YouTube, so can't do that here. Anyway, what's going on? See you, Shiro. I'll bring something home, so be good. Okay. That was not... I'm not in... Okay. There we go. Fujini waves as she heads out for work. I'm going to get going too. I need to swing by home, so I'll be a little late. I should be back by dinner, though. Don't do anything rash while everyone's gone. Have I gotten... Alright then. It's 7:30 in the morning. I see the two of them off without incident, so there's only one thing left to do now. Okay, we're going to continue where we left off yesterday. Let's head to the dojo, Saber. Okay, I was confused and worried for a second. I was like, wait a minute. This seems like where we started last time of the training with Saber thing. Did I accidentally not save? Which, granted, if there was ever a game where it's okay to not accidentally not save, it's a visual novel. Because you just gotta... It's like the good old days of VH... Hold on, my phone is not silent. It is annoying me. There we go. It is now silent. As I was saying, it's like the good old days of VHS. Where it's just like, well, you gotta fast forward it, you gotta rewind it. That's the only way to make things happen. VHS. It wasn't necessarily a great format, but... Well, I will say, the one of the virtues of VHS that's not get touted as much as I think it should is, while yes, it's less durable a format as compared to, like, DVDs or CDs in terms of, like, wear and tear through use of it, it's way more durable in terms of children not destroying it. Right, you can trust a 5-year-old to handle a VHS tape without really worrying too much. You're not trusting a 5-year-old to handle a DVD. Granted, not that 5-year-olds need to worry about that sort of thing anymore since everything is just streaming. Which I suppose I shouldn't say so melancholy on a streaming site, but here we are. I can't hide from who I am. Oh, are we going to be training right away? You have just eaten. Perhaps it would be best to wait a while? Don't worry about that. I've trained myself to the point where stuff like that doesn't affect me. And today's breakfast was bread, right? I don't live an unhealthy enough lifestyle for something like that to affect me. Well, if you insist, I do not mind. Good, then. Let's just go. I spent all night coming up with ways to get at least one hit in. So I want to show you the fruits of my labor. Kids are stupid, man. They'd pull the tape out if given enough time. I don't think you're wrong. I do remember we had VHSs in the house when I was a child. And to my knowledge, I don't think that ever happened. If it did, it was probably like once. But the difference, though, right? And I like using public safety as the standard here. Yeah, if you look at like the handrails or something on like a bridge or whatever, it's sufficient to make sure no one ever accidentally kills themselves. However, if you're trying to jump off the bridge, it's not that there's nothing stopping you, but it's not going to stop you. I view VHS in a similar sort of way, where it's like, in normal use, they're pretty durable. Like, if you're targeting, like, destruction of them, yeah, you're gonna manage it. But, yeah, whereas, like, a DVD or CD, like, through fairly normal just use and bring it around, you can accidentally scratch it up pretty bad. Anyway. Ugh. Accidentally pause my preview. There we go. I'm unable to dodge Saber's counterattack. Both the Shinai and I tumble to the ground. Ugh. My fingers tingle where they grip the Shinai. Saber's counterattack lands as I lunge in with all my might. I had figured brute force was my only What? What? You'd figured brute force was your only option? Sir, brute force is probably your least viable option, considering that you are extremely outmatched on that front. Like, if anything, you need some... Really, you probably need deception. You need like a, look over there, and then whack her on the back of the head sort of play. Or a play dead, and then whack her while she's trying to revive you play. Not a brute force attack. No shock that I dropped my Shinai, and fell right on my ass after an attack like that. Damn, I thought that would work. He's very more optimistic than me. Shiro, your expectations were unrealistic. Listen, you will not be able to defeat a servant simply by acting out of desperation. It is one thing to be determined, but you must first consider your opponents. That may be true, but I'll lose if I stay on the defensive. I have to strike if I find an opening. See, now this is the cult of the offensive, which is part of what led to the human tragedy that was World War I. I can go into more detail later, but yeah. It can be fallacious to assume that being aggressive is always the best course of action. That is true, but you do not understand how to properly utilize that opportunity. If you are to strike so desperately, you must wait for an appropriate opportunity. That goes without saying. I saw you looking away for a brief second that last time. I've only seen you do that maybe one other time, so I thought it was my chance. I applaud you for noticing that and deciding to act, but I looked away deliberately. I did so thinking it would not be sufficient to prompt you to move. I did not expect you to charge straight at me. You imbecile. That's pretty mean, Saber. You shouldn't mock amateurs like that. If you are a self-admitted amateur, then why do you think you can stand up to a servant? You doofus. I was not mocking you. It was simply a ploy, and creating an opening such as that carries with it a degree of risk. However, the risk I take by looking away and the risk you take by charging straight at me are simply not comparable. So what you're saying is that I should be less obvious at seizing an opportunity? If I make a big obvious attack, I'm squandering the opportunity. So you're saying I should be considering the opportunity and acting to suit it? Yes, you must learn to judge the value of the opportunity you have. However, I must point out that you are much better at discerning the boundaries between life and death than yesterday. As you develop a sense of danger, you'll become more able to determine when to fight and strike on your own. Saber looks pleased. Unless it's my imagination, she seems happy to hear her student improving a bit. It is almost time to rest. Shall I fetch you some water, Shiro? No need, as long as it's just water. I've filled a whole kettle, so I'll just drink from that. I drag my fatigued body towards the wall. After wiping the sweat from myself with a towel I brought along, I take several gulps from the kettle. Men, drinking straight from the kettle. Why do we live like this? I take a deep breath. It's been almost 3 hours since I saw Tosaka and Fujini off. I've spent every minute since sparring with Saber. Stay hydrated? Agreed. As usual, Saber doesn't explain much, and I don't ask her any questions while we cross swords. I have pretty much no chance of winning, but I do seem to be moving better the more I fight Saber. I'm not expecting to improve my fighting techniques. The point here is to train my body, not my mind, to get accustomed to battle. I fundamentally disagree with him on this point. Like, yes, that's important, but simultaneously. You're not going to overpower a servant. If you want any hope, you need tactics, my man. It's better than doing nothing, and since I am starting from basically nothing, there wouldn't be much point here unless I spend time working on this one thing. If all I do is think about how to fight, when the time comes for me to face a master, I'm dead. Saber just doesn't even break a sweat, huh? I'm a little disappointed, but I shouldn't expect to be on her level in just a day or two. And yeah, I guess you're not wrong that doing some training will help him perhaps live a bit longer. Well, I guess like, against the master, but the issue is if you confront a master, you're probably confronting a servant too. But there's the opportunity cost, right? Is my time better spent getting beat up by Saber a whole bunch, or could we be doing some research? Formatting some plans, some tactics. I don't know. And just like yesterday, Saber rests, seated in a Seiza position. It'd be a waste to just sit here. I might as well take the opportunity to talk with her. Okay, then. There we go. Had some buzzing in my headphones. Okay. Let's see, I want to know what Saber's fighting for, or a secret blade technique even crabs can use? A secret blade technique even crabs can use. A secret blade technique which even crabs can use. The more I read it, the more I don't understand it. A secret, hidden blade technique that even crabs, crustaceans, can use. Second thought is dumb as hell. Yeah, agreed there. Agreed on that point. I almost would have selected just because of how absurd it is. But I actually think I want to know what Saber's fighting for. Why does she want to fight so much? I might be able to understand her convictions a little more if I find out why she wants the Holy Grail. But can I really ask her that? Saber, can I ask you something? Yes, what is it, Shiro? Well, there's something I forgot to ask. You're lending me your power because you want the Holy Grail, right? So, what is your wish for the Holy Grail? Why seek the Holy Grail? Will you be satisfied if I simply tell you that I want it? The Holy Grail is an omnipotent vessel. There's no wish that cannot be granted once you obtain it. One should hardly need a reason for seeking such a thing. I mean, what you're saying is not wrong. However, I assume you got something in mind. No, that's not what I'm asking. Saber, you're dodging the question. You should get into politics. You'd probably win. You know, if Saber was on the ballots against these two jokers, you know who I'm voting for. Sure, that's... And at the very least, we know for a fact that Saber is lawful good. That's more than you can say about, like, solid 80 to 90% of politicians. I'm not asking why you're seeking it. I want to know the wish you want granted. But if you don't want to tell me, you don't have to. Wishes aren't always something to be shared. Saber closes her mouth, embarrassed. Embarrassed? What could I'm not surprised. Saber didn't form a contract with me to help me. Masters are the only ones who can obtain the Holy Grail, so she's only here to assist with that. And that's why she's hesitant to tell me her wish. But most of all, I don't want to hear her tell me about her selfish wish. So I shouldn't have asked. I should have asked for a secret technique that even crabs can use. Besides, it's disrespectful for someone without a clear wish to ask about someone else's wish. Shiro, are you commanding me as my master? Are you asking if I'm going to waste one of my, like, what is it? One of my 3 command spells on asking this question and getting an answer? No. Am I ordering you to? I mean, probably not. That catches me off guard. Saber turns to look at me, her gaze as serious as her tone. No, I'm not. I didn't mean it that way. I was just curious. Sorry for asking such a dumb question. Should have asked about the crabs. Dang it! That was a way smarter question. No. As a servant, I do not need to disclose my desire to my master. Shiro, I seek the Holy Grail to fulfill a certain obligation. I desire the Holy Grail's power to fulfill the responsibility I failed to see through to the end in my lifetime. Is that why you're so cagey? I see. Because if her wish directly relates to like a failing in her lifetime, then telling us what the wish would be, we could then reverse engineer to who she was, which she doesn't want us to know, because we're like, gonna leak the info or something. So, like, granted, I don't think she's this person, but, like, if it was something like, oh, I want to see Egypt rise to the world stage as, like, an independent, strong superpower again. It's like, oh, she's Cleopatra. I get it. Anyway. Mr. Krabs would be insulted. Nah, well, maybe. She looks straight at me. I see no deceit in her eyes. Fulfill an obligation. And you say lifetime, do you mean before you became a servant? Yes. In all honesty, I'm uncertain of my own intentions. Perhaps I only desire to do things over. Do things over? Is it a time travel wish, Saber? Because, look, far be it from me to lecture you on what you ought to be utilizing any wishes you obtain for. However, I will say, the old time travel wish thing, I've seen it play out a couple times in various other forums and media. It rarely works out how you imagine it should. Saber looks down quietly. For a moment, she looks like a lost child seeking repentance. Okay. I'm actually relieved. I was worried you were going to say something to Sako would say, like, world domination. Rita would be angry if she heard that. But she is not the type to say such a thing. She may use the Holy Grail for herself, but her wish would certainly not bring chaos upon the world. Oh no. Not so sure about that. Her general actions have brought chaos about in my life, at the very least. You think so? I still think she probably shouldn't be the one to get the Holy Grail. I nod to myself. All the while, Saber watches me, her expression gentle. This conversation ends here. I should never have brought this up. Should have asked about the crab move. The mood between the two of us eases thanks to the mention of Tosaka, and I decided it would be best not to pry. But the ache in my heart still remains. Even though I was relieved to know Saber's wish was not a materialistic one, I felt there was still something amiss with it. Well, yeah, it's important to not forget about Saber in the story. She's like one of the main 3 characters in the game. Obviously. I'm media literate enough to know that much. Know how protagonist and deuteragonist and triotagonists work? Tritagonists? Anyway. The next thing I know, it's noon. It would seem to be lunchtime, Shiro. Yeah, it is. Both our stomachs growl in agreement. Let's eat. Is there anything you'd like to eat, Saber? Not in particular. I've been satisfied with each meal you have prepared thus far. I think this is a new Saber expression. It's pretty cute. Saber puts it kind of oddly. Well, at least she's not picky like Tosaka. I'll go do a bit of shopping. I'll probably come back the same time as yesterday, so rest in the living room until then. I kind of feel like I think I should probably be bringing Saber with me to go shopping. Like, for my own protection. We did run into Ilya literally yesterday while we were out shopping. Which, you know, nothing happened. But simultaneously, something could have happened. Yes, I'll be waiting, Shiro. It's fine. I decided to try making shrimp balls for lunch. I've always wanted to try making them at home. They'll be piping hot balls of ground shrimp, a bit bigger than takoyaki. Ground shrimp, is that a thing? I guess it must be. I guess you can grind any meat up. But I've literally never heard of that before. Speaking of ground meat, I recently discovered, because I moved recently, so I've been getting accustomed to all the stores and stuff. So we have like a restaurant supply store, and it can be tough to sort of judge like how good the deals are in those sorts of places. You know, where you walk into like a Costco or something like, oh, it must be a good deal because I'm buying like 2 gallons of it at once, and then it turns out actually no, you saved like 5 cents a gallon, and then you throw out half of it because it expires before you actually get to use it, so you've functionally paid double. But one of the things that I did notice at this particular store, which immediately jumped out at me like, okay, that is a good deal. They're selling ground beef for $3 a pound, which granted, 5 years ago, that's just the normal price of ground beef. But in this day and age, in this economy, that's a pretty good deal. That is a pretty good deal. Granted, I had to buy like 10 pounds of it at a time, but you can just freeze that, and it lasts forever, basically. Anyways, so yeah. I didn't see ground shrimp there, though. Maybe I'm missing out. I mean, shrimp is pretty good. Do I kind of feel like part of the appeal of shrimp is like it's the experience, of just inserting an entire creature into your mouth and just eating it. It makes you feel like a Titan or something from like Attack on Titan. Anyway. I bought some mustard, and I'm all set with the snacks for our 3 o'clock snack time. Oh, speaking of Titans, by the way, I heard a little while back, because you got the Titans from Greek mythology, which is like the precursor generation to the Greek gods. And there's this conception, and it was, my conception of it too, as granted, that like Titans, they must be like big, massive, like towering creatures. From what I understand, that's actually a bit of a misnomer. Like, I heard that it's apparently more so that they're just, like, powerful god Greek, deities in similar vein to just the normal Greek gods. And where the misconception comes from is because in, like, the main myth that they're known for, the one of them, Kronos, I believe, eats his children. So then you think, oh, if he's able to just straight up swallow and eat his children whole, then he must be, like, some massive, like, mountain-sized thing. And as it turns out, no, that's just mythology being weird. Now, granted, don't quote me on this. I read it from, like, a single source, so who knows? Maybe they were the ones who were wrong and mistaken, but it was interesting. An interesting read. She was so good at cooking because he just didn't have anything else to do. What? Nah, he could also work on strengthening things. Strengthening things. Imagine that. I load my purchases onto my bike. That reminds me. I met Ilya here yesterday. Yeah, and then you decided to come back here. Without, like, alone. Without any protection whatsoever. Genius. She's not here today. I wouldn't say that out loud. Well, she probably shouldn't be coming here every day. Somehow not seeing her is disappointing, though. I haven't told Saber or to talk about meeting Ilya yesterday. She didn't confront me as an enemy, and I'm hesitant to tell them about her in the first place. Just because she was here yesterday doesn't mean she'll show up today. So I really should get on my bike and go straight to the Emiya house or swing by the park. So the park, I'm assuming, would be the park we met Ilya at yesterday. Okay, we've got a vote in chat for the park. I guess one thing I'm slightly uncertain of here is I'm not sure, is this a choice between, like, two branches of, like, we got the house event, presumably having to do with Saber, or the park event having to do with Ilya, or is this a choice of, like, we've got the main plot and then the option to, like, just insert, like, a little park detour, if that makes any sense. No choices. I have no choice. Chat has decided we're going to the park. I'm not against going to the park, but I like considering my options. What if the food gets cold? What if the frozen food thaws? What if the hot food freezes? What if they switch places? I know no one's going to be at the park, but I mean, we could go check. I mean, it's on the way. Probably. I'll just take the long way home. Okay, apparently it's not on the way. It's just about a 5-minute detour. Okay, it's fairly on the way. I'm being whimsical here, and I don't need to make excuses about it. It doesn't matter if it's on the way. I want to go there, dang it. Well, it's a park. I park my bicycle in the park. Have you ever noticed that you park your bike at the park, but you rode it on the road? Crazy, right? I step into the park. My groceries still on my bike. Why am I doing this in the first place? I look like such a creep just kind of coming here to the little, like, playground park thing. Like, it's not even like a nature park or something where I can, save face and be like, oh no, I was just taking a little stroll through the woods. It's just like straight up there's a slide and like a swing set here, and I don't have a child with me, so I can't like use that as an excuse for why I'm here in the first place. I just look like some sort of creep who's coming here to like, people watch other people's children or kidnap them or something. And yeah. It's just so impulsive of me. I just had the passing thought that it'd be nice to see her. Well, ask and ye shall receive. And then I see a silver-haired girl standing off on her own. She doesn't seem to have noticed me. If I wanted, I could just leave. But if I were going to do that, I wouldn't have come here in the first place. Ilya? Who's there? It's just me, Shiro. Shiro? Is that really you? Is that really such a surprise? The park's close to the shopping district, so me passing by here isn't all that strange. I'm honestly more curious why you're here again. Do you have that much free time? Yep, you're exactly right. I don't really have anything else to do, so I came here to play. But Stella said I shouldn't see you. She said it'd be no fun to play with you because I'm going to kill you soon anyway. Well, that's a blunt way of putting it, but I get what you said. Oh, well, that, whoa. That makes it pretty hard to come up with a response. But I don't think that's true, because being with you is fun. So I've been waiting here all this time, thinking I might meet you again. Well, great minds think alike, it would seem. Or mildly insane minds, who knows? And I was considering asking Saber about the super secret move, that technique that even crabs can learn. Anyways. So I'm glad you came, Shiro. Wait a minute. Don't tell me you're waiting for me this whole time. Yep. It's been a really long time. I was thinking how nice it'd be if you came here. You dummy. I thought you didn't like the cold. If you want to see me, you should have come to my place. You know what? Okay. Maybe not. If you meant Saber, that'd definitely lead to a fight. But still, there are plenty of other places you could have found me. You had no trouble finding me at the shopping district yesterday. No, I can't do that. I can't go around to find you myself. I just broke the rules yesterday. Just that once. So I decided to wait at a place I thought you might come, and I was right. Yeah, no real room to criticize her right now. I mean, her plan worked. Ilya skips around excitedly. Her bouncing silver hair makes her look like a winter fairy. I got that, but why do you want to see me in the first place? If just talking to you like yesterday is enough, I'm happy to do it again. Nope, I don't have anything in particular to talk about like yesterday. I just thought it'd be nice to see you today. Besides, we're enemies. I'll come and kill you when the Holy Grail War is about to end, so we can talk then. I'm not quite sure I find the idea of having a conversation under those circumstances all that appealing. She says it so innocently. The disconnect between her words and manner is hard to swallow. It's not that she's going to kill me so much as how unfitting it seems for her to be a master. Ilya, do you want to do that? Did you really choose to get involved in this Holy Grail War yourself? It's like grandfather's orders. I'm the best suited to be a master out of all the Einsburns since I possess a really big Holy Grail. Wait, do you already have a Holy Grail? Then what are you doing here? What are you here for? But that means you're doing it because your grandfather ordered you to? You didn't choose to be a master. Maybe. I don't really remember, but I've been a master since I was born, so it only makes sense for me to fight. That long, huh? Is that possible? That's wrong. If you're just fighting because someone told you to, you should stop. First of all, killing doesn't suit you. Because you're a girl, and girls should never engage in violence at any time, for any reason, as we've established. Oh, doesn't sound like you're pleading for your life. You actually sound really worried about me, big brother. Yeah, do I save? Yep, more Ilya time. No, you didn't miss much. I got beat up by Saber for a bit, and now we're talking to Ilya again. Of course I am. I don't know what anyone else thinks, but I hate the idea of someone like you fighting. If it were up to me, I'd rather see you quit being a master and go live a quiet life. I might consider it if you become my servant. If you did that, I wouldn't have to kill you. I don't think that's how that works. What the hell are you talking about? Do you really know what it means to ask me to be your servant? Like, first of all, I mean, indentured servitude. I don't think it's illegal in Japan circa when this game came out, but I mean, who knows? Besides, there's no way I could be a substitute for Berserker. I'm saying that you should stop fighting. I'm telling you to give up your servant, so why would you need me to be your familiar? Not a familiar, a servant. Servants are always with you, right? That's why I need you to be by my side. But like, why though? Why? What do you see in me? I don't get it. Huh? Huh? Hold on a minute. Don't tell me. Does Ilya think... Let me ask you something. What is a servant, Ilya? They're mine, right? They're always by my side and they protect me. That's what grandfather told me. Oh, hence the master since you were born comments. Oh. I see. Okay. I know it's... Ilya considers servants to be just that. Command souls, masters, none of that matters. To her, a servant is just something that protects her. Got it. But no, I still can't. I can't agree to that, so think of something else. What? Not good enough for you? I mean... I'm still not entirely clear what even my duties or responsibilities would be in this circumstance. Well, it's not about being good enough. It's just that, I mean, I'm just not really in the market for that line of work. It's not my industry, I'm sorry. I'm worried about Ilya, but I know I can't be by her side 24/7 either. Ilya. I have Saber. And as a master, I need to stop other masters. So, I'm sorry, but I can't be your servant. What? I'm in a concession because I was talking to you. You're going to pay for it. Hey, wait, oh, hold on, Ilya! We haven't finished! Stupid Shiro, you're the worst for embarrassing a girl! There she goes. Ilya just runs out of the park, not listening to me anymore. I tried to follow her, but I can't find her. Crap. This is just like yesterday. I sigh and go back to my bike. But I don't think she'll just suddenly attack again, like when we first met that night. I wonder if that's why she wants me as her servant. She, like, saw me, take a strike from Berserker for Saber's like, oh, I need that in my life. I need someone who's willing to just recklessly give up their own life for the safety of someone else. So I should probably have one more chance to convince her.